welcome to Open. I'm Rhina Valentin, your host, y Café con Leche every Friday. Here's what's coming up in today's show. First up, author and Bronx native Dr. Eliane Ruiz Lopez shares her recent accomplishments, receiving 3 medals from the International Latino Book Award. Next, director Nadia Voukitchevitch discusses her film career and the successful expansion of her company, Creative Collective, in New York. Then, style expert and fashion powerhouse Marta Luna is here to talk about her participation in Elton John's Style Icon competition and her philanthropic work. And lastly, we sit with Yambawa, featuring master percussionist Anthony Carrillo and pianist Amy Quint-Millan, to hear all about their efforts to preserve Afro-Caribbean rhythm traditions, with a performance at the end of the show. So sit back y prepárate. All this and more is headed your way, because now we are officially open. Hey everyone, welcome back to Open. I'm Rhina Valentin, your host, y Café con Leche, for the next hour, inviting you to get social with us online, that is. Follow us on Instagram at Bronxnet TV, or like us on Facebook at Open Bronxnet Television. And of course, while you're there, don't forget to follow me on FB, Instagram, Insta Stories, Threads, and LinkedIn at Rhina Valentin. Our first guest, who I'm so excited to introduce you guys to, has dedicated her life to fighting for equity in the Bronx. And in this clip we're about to watch, we learn how she is a dream maker, paying it forward every day.
I was born and raised in the South Bronx. I'm first generation Puerto Rican. Born and raised during the time when the Bronx was burning. I attended college and pursued my graduate degrees at Teachers College, Columbia University, and received my doctorate in 1994 to start a high school that would be inclusive of all students from the Bronx that were having the kind of challenges that I had as a teenager. This was the inspiration, or part of the inspiration for starting this charter school. I wanted to see students that looked like me, that came from a similar neighborhood, giving them the opportunities that I did not have as a high school student. So in 2005, the graduation rates were abysmal in the Bronx for high school students, particularly for Latino and African American students. So I sought to open up a charter school that would provide students with a high quality college prep program and would have a close to 100% graduation.
That was Dr. Eliane Ruiz Lopez, founder and CEO of the International Leadership Charter School. She's here with us today. However, we're going to talk a little bit about her memoir, The Fight for Equity in the Bronx, Changing Lives and Transforming Communities One Scholar at a Time, in which she shares her experiences growing up in the South Bronx, navigating poverty, racism, and trauma, which recently won 3 medals from the International Latino Book Award. And bueno, she's here to talk about her recent success and her life's mission. Everyone, please welcome Dr. Eliane Ruiz Lopez.
Felicidades, Rhina. It's an honor to be here. Thank you for the invitation.
The honor is all mine. I mean, to just know that you have really committed yourself and your life to making things accessible for the underrepresented, and have reached these heights. And in doing so, you keep finding other ways to just make it accessible. I know we're going to talk primarily about the book today, but I do want our audience to just learn a little bit about the journey that you've had to forge through and push through in order to even make this accessible for us.
Absolutely. Well, my experiences as a Puerto Rican child growing up in the South Bronx, you know, first generation Puerto Rican. My parents came from Puerto Rico in the 1950s during the Operation Bootstrap era. And, you know, attending public schools on Simpson Street, right across the street from the 41st Precinct that later became the topic of the movie that we all came to know as Fort Apache, right, where Paul Newman starred in. You know, so that experience shaped my early perspective on the injustices and the unfair treatment of Puerto Ricanos and, you know, children and people of color in general. So I first saw the inequities in education, in my own education. Although I was a gifted and talented child, I was not being given the opportunities in order for me to succeed. Fast forward, I become a teenage mom, and I'm pushed out of high school, pursue my GED, and then on my own found a determination to enroll at City College of New York to become a teacher in the same neighborhood where I was raised.
And your doctorate?
And then pursuing a doctorate, you know, 15 years later, with the inner, you know, desire to start a high school, an academically rigorous college prep high school that would treat all of our young people as gifted and talented, giving them opportunities to attend the college of their choice. And a source of pride for me continues to be all of those, you know, black and brown children that graduate from our high school. They get to attend the college of their choice. We have 100% of our young people being accepted to the college of their choice. And so it's a source of pride.
I can only imagine how fulfilling that must feel.
Yes, it's very fulfilling, particularly to see how education continues to have the transformational power that it does, that it did have in my life.
Right.
Right? My life changed through education. You know, I experienced poverty, racism, food insecurity.
And also the burnings in the Bronx.
And the burning, the Bronx was burning. We were burned out of 2 buildings on Simpson Street. And all of that experience created a great deal of trauma. So having the opportunity to start this charter school, it's also a way of reconciling, right? That young Eliane, right, and
yes,
me,
yes,
and making sure that, you know, hundreds of students and their families would have an opportunity to be all that they want to be in their lives, everything that to be their wildest dream.
Right.
Right?
Yeah.
And so one of the things about immigrant families is that they all want the same thing, and that is a better future for their children.
Right.
And to see the gratitude from the parents and the school community every year at every graduation, it's amazing. I never had a high school graduation, but now I've been able to witness 17 high school graduations, as well as college graduations, because I do stay in touch with the alumni.
Amazing.
Yes.
Amazing. And congratulations.
Thank you.
And I want to say on behalf of all of those individuals who sought a better life, thank you for creating that possibility. Yeah. And now you've created this book, winning awards already, your first one out already, 3. And so I'm going to assume this is once again you reconciling with young Eliane.
Yes, absolutely. So I wanted to write an inspirational memoir that would chronicle my journey as a child being raised in the South Bronx, but also giving tribute and honor to my parents, my ancestors, as well as to the women that I met as a teacher, a young teacher in the South Bronx, including Dr. Evelina Antonetti, Dr. Antonia Pantoja, during the time when I was a bilingual education teacher, and I was experiencing a lot of challenges at that time
Those are some fierce women you just mentioned.
Absolutely. So I observed them, particularly Dr. Antonetti. I had the privilege of accompanying her on two several school board meetings when she was fighting to preserve bilingual education in the public school system. So I wanted to take that experience and, let the world know why I started this charter school and who inspired me to do so. There were many others, but these are the individuals that stand out. In addition to my mother, who raised 7 children, and she was also a survivor of La Masacre de Ponce when she was 13 years of age. And she too, it was a survivor of a lot of trauma, including domestic violence. And so, the book pays tribute to her as well. And when I wrote the book, I didn't write the story in order to receive accolades. In fact, I never imagined that only a year after my book launched that I would receive 3 silver medals from the International Latino Book Awards. I simply wanted to tell my story and with hopes that my story would heal others,
right.
Who are going through teenage pregnancy, who are having challenges, surviving, this very challenging life and system,
yeah.
Perhaps being pushed out of school, having dreams that have been shattered. And to say to young women in particular, si se puede.
Right.
You're not defined by your zip code or the color of your skin or your last name. So I wanted simply to tell my story. It was intended to be a catharsis of sorts, and so I feel humbled and blessed that the book has received this recognition.
I know, and it's like a new chapter in your life as well, based on what you shared with you. You're like, oh, I've got this whole other life going on now because of the book.
Yes. So I'm now, and I had 22 speaking engagements in the last year.
Wow.
And now I'm in a space meeting amazing people such as yourself in the literary arts space, in the artesano space, and we're, meeting amazing authors, traveling to San Diego and meeting, 80 Latino authors who were receiving awards in different genres on that day. And it's a very humbling experience. I was nominated in the same category as a gentleman by the name of Victor Villaseñor, who's the author of Stardust. He actually was nominated for he was nominated 3 times for a Pulitzer. And
wow.
We were in the same category. So he received the gold for the most inspirational story, and I received the silver for the most inspirational story. So it was quite an honor to meet him and others that are in this literary arts space that is just amazing. It's an amazing experience. And what's even more amazing about this is that I am able now, with the proceeds of the book, I established a First and Family to go to college scholarship fund, and I've been able to award $1,000 scholarships for every student that is graduating from our high school and going on to college. So in June, I was able to, offer 6 $1,000 scholarships. So next June, I hope to offer 10 $1,000 scholarships. And it's my way of paying it back and paying it forward.
That's what we're talking about, you paying it forward, and that being your life mission. How amazing. And this book is going to be signed, right?
Actually, I signed it for you.
You signed it for me?
It's an autographed copy.
Yeah.
Este para ti.
Thank
Un
you so
regalito.
much.
With much gratitude for having me on your program.
Well,
and because I know also that you are a fighter for causes in equity and social justice, particularly for women and domestic violence and, other areas as well.
all of that. And thank you. Thank you. This is an autographed copy, everyone. Yes, that was Dr. Eliane Ruiz Lopez, who I could just listen to all day. Inspired. I hope you're inspired, because I'm certainly inspired. And once again, her book, The Fight for Equity in the Bronx, is available on her website. And I don't know if you were listening, but in case you weren't listening, some of the proceeds go to help offer scholarships to high school students that are going into college, and we all know that's how we move it and keep it moving internally and forward simultaneously. So for more information also on the International Leadership Charter School, you can go to ilchs.org. All right, stay tuned. There's more open when we return. I'm excited.
Sent from the future to save the past, heal the planet and make it last. We find solutions with knowledge slides. Venture forth, echo leaders unite. Echo leaders, echo leaders.
Hey everyone, welcome back to Open. Our next guest considers herself a global citizen, as we all should, and she uses film to aid her in her lifelong fight for social justice, diversity, and women's rights. Let's take a look at what she's been up to. All right, so our next guest, basically, along with the recent success of her new documentary, Powerful Asian Women, her latest endeavor, which we just got a taste of, the Creative Collective, has just expanded, opening a new location in New York. Everyone, please welcome executive producer, director, and founder of Creative Collective, Nadia Voukitchevitch. And I said it right!
Yes, eso. Thank you so much for having me, Rhina. Oh my God. First of all, can I just congratulate you for your amazing performance in Street Smart. This is an incredible documentary. You all need to see it. As soon as it gets distribution, putting out positive vibes, everyone pick it up, PBS, HBO. She did an amazing role in this film about Sonia Manzano, who was the first Latina on Sesame Street. Yes, for 4 decades. Incredible. And she helped build the Children's Bronx Museum.
Yes.
Right here in the Bronx, which we always need that for our kids. So
Yeah.
Congratulations. You were the soul of the party, as they say, as always. Rhina.
Kelly, I appreciate that. You know, I'm really, more than anything, I'm just flattered to be in the women's orbit. You know, seriously, and to be part of her documentary that is now growing its legs, because this documentary is really well made,
Yes.
and I'm beyond elated to be a part of it.
Yes.
So thank you for being there
Yes.
for the doc feature of it, the doc
Yes.
festival.
Yes.
And thanks for the shout out.
Of
This is about you.
course,
This
of
is about you.
course.
I appreciate you. I appreciate
No.
you. Yeah. And this is what it's about, though.
Yes, it
This
is.
is what it's all about.
It is about that.
And then there's what you're doing, right?
Yes.
So you had the LA office, right? And now you
Yes.
expanded into New York. However, you are in films, and you have your own films, and you direct, and you do a little bit of
Yes.
everything. However, your I guess motivation behind everything is primarily to empower women.
Yes, yes. Empower women and folks that look like myself too. You know, earlier you had, you know, a lovely doctor and author here, you know, talking about, you know, she wanted to see representation of herself, and that's also what inspired her to write the book. So for me, a lot of it's also about empowering women and giving them key positions on film sets. You know, I was attending this Women in Films gala about 2 years ago, and Eva Longoria was there and saying, you know, we don't have that many Latina women directors in Hollywood. She's like, you know, just look around. And a lot of people didn't think about that. And I always say, you know, from the beginning of my career, I've always championed women directors, always championed women producers, women founders of production companies, you know, whether it was the Latin division of Palmar Pictures, you know, and Elizabeth Cházaro, who then later on introduced me to Julia de la Rosa and all these other amazing women directors that I had the opportunity to work with. But even in the independent film world, I started working with Hannah Wire, you know, with Good Machine back in the 90s. And you know, she had a short film at Sundance that draw the attention to all these other producers that thought, you know what, we're going to do a feature and give her an opportunity. And she had a script written, Arresting Gina, and that was my very first film. I worked locations. I was in 19 different locations in New Jersey. And so I worked my way all the way up to director, not just as a PA, script supervisor, you know, like I said, locations intern. You're the first one in, the last one out. You better make sure everything's picked up and clean and the toilets are left immaculate and no cigarette butts on the floor as it were back in the day. But yeah, I really feel that it's important. I think women still, there's this huge pay gap, and that shouldn't be. I think, you know, when we consider the Academy just recently nominated its first woman DP, Mandy Walker,
right,
whom I've had the opportunity to bid a number of times and you know, also give her commercial work in the past. But there should already have been an award given, you know what I'm saying,
correct,
to a woman DP. We have incredible, I have Valentina Caniglia shooting, you know, the series that you just mentioned. Thank you for that shout out for the powerful, inspiring Asian women. The next, you know, part is Latinas Poderosas, which we already shot proof of concept with Marcela Bordes, who's an incredible Mexican actress, also the voiceover for Minnie Mouse in the Latin market here in the United States. And so that was in honor of Hispanic Heritage Month. And now we're November, which is Native American Heritage Month. And that's something also that I think is very important in the documentary, that we're not just doing Asian women strictly or Southeast Asian women, but we're also doing all our Native American indigenous women and women that have actually gone to Senate, you know, and we finally elected some Native American women. So that's really important. The next one's going to be on my Black powerful woman, and then all the women that came before us, that include Gloria Steinem, that include Jane Goodall, who sadly passed away, but we want to make sure that we document their legacy to the world. You know, this is also the artistic world, but it's also the scientists, the engineers, you know, like Dr. Anita Sengupta, who's, you know, she's basically putting together the next hydroplane, which should be in our skies, but
right,
we shouldn't be polluting it, you know,
yeah,
with fuel. We should be using hydrogen
right,
and all the beautiful things Mother Nature's given us to preserve her and make sure that the next generation can enjoy it as well.
and learn from it
Yes.
as well, right? Because we only know what's accessible, which was the conversation prior to this, right?
Yes.
But, you know, before we run out of time, I want to talk about Creative Collective,
Yes.
because, yes, this is Nadia's movement. This is Nadia's,
Yes.
motivation behind the films, and
Yes.
you're very deliberate about everything you do, and now you've
Thank
expanded.
you.
And so this is the actual commercial market
Yes.
aspect of what it
Yes.
is that you do. So I want to make sure that they understand what that means to have, once again, create a balance in understanding, well, you know, I have to generate revenue and I have to do it in a way that I can have an impact. So I have to apply this over here in order for me to work independently over here.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah, you I mean, described it beautifully. And that's always how I explain it. Like, we have to fuel these impact films that are going to have that powerful, right, impact in the community that we hope to deliver through the commercial viable branded content. And so that's why Creative Collective is a branding company. We're a small independent company, so we're not owned by any of the 3 global ad agencies, you know, like Omni and Euro RSTG. They all own now the smaller companies. So we're very independent that way. And then we also have the ability to scale up and size down, and flexible as well. We take pride in saying we're flexible, especially when it comes to budgets, because we understand, say, if you, your brand, as an individual, want to raise brand awareness, you want to gain more followers, you want to gain even maybe possibly more volunteers if you're running a nonprofit.
Right.
So this is where we help tailor, you know, to your needs. We sit down, we have a very in-depth conversation about where you see yourself going the next year, even the next quarter, the next 5 years, how you want those donors for, say, if you're it's a nonprofit to look like? What type of messaging do you want to put out there? And even when it comes to social media, you know, that's an area that we've been doing a lot for clients and different brands recently. And you'd be surprised, you know, with new studies coming out, a lot of people are on LinkedIn now more than ever looking for work, you know, trying to exchange stories there, reinventing themselves, and engagement per the Metropole 2025, you know, social media study just came out, and it's up 99% on LinkedIn.
But yeah, well, LinkedIn is like for me the adulting social media. That's what I consider it. It's like the adulting because that's where the professionals are, and that's where we're going to have, I would say, more upscale conversations.
Yes.
Yeah.
Exactly.
So. Because you've expanded into New York, that means you had great success in LA. So how does a person, like, I guess, create a moment with you and or have make an appointment, or what does that look like?
Absolutely. Well, you know, I always tell people, my mom always says, if you want someone to get something done, ask your busiest child. And she had 5 kids. So, you know, very big, familia numerosa Filipina, you know, big mix. And so I always tell people I'm the easiest person to reach. You know, it's easy, Nadia at nadiafilms.com. That's my email. You can also look at us on our website at www.creative-collective.us, or if not, you can look at my website, nadiafilms.com, where you can also see the trailer for the first episode of Mira Chai that won already 16 awards internationally. We're so blessed and so happy that, you know, it's been already also selected to 30 film festivals. So we're hoping to, you know, continue with that. And we're looking also always for people who want to help fund it and who also want to help out with distribution. So we're very approachable. We're located right here in Midtown. And in LA, we're in a place called now Crenshaw Manor. It's just east from Culver City. And so, yeah, we hope to bring loads of work in. And just like, you know, in LA during the strike and the fires, we continue to hire everyone we could and continue to pay them their wages per the union. Even if we were in a strike, we didn't want to, you know, have to lower those wages at all, and put families and folks to business, you know, to work.
That's what it's about. That's what it's about.
Spread the wealth, you know?
Yes, create the wealth and also create accessibility, because
Yes.
that's what we're really talking
Yes.
about. And mi gente, this is about us, you know,
Yes.
our people of color, and here we're offering opportunities and individuals, we're sharing individuals who are making these possibilities accessible. So once again, Nadia Voukitchevitch.
Yes.
Voukitchevitch, I said it right.
You got it, yes.
Who again has expanded Creative Collective here in New York, and Creative Collective bicultural branding. You can visit creative-collective.us, and or you can call 917-439-5064. And if you're interested in Nadia and her film, Powerful Asian Women, you can go to nadiafilms.com. Stay tuned. There's more open when we return.
Sent from the future to save the past, heal the planet and make it last. We find solutions with knowledge light. Venture forth, echo leaders unite. Echo leaders, echo
Hey everyone, and welcome back to Open. Our next guest is not only a style expert and fashion powerhouse whose goal is to empower modern Latina or Latin American women, I should say. She's also a dedicated philanthropist. She's currently participating in Elton John's Style Icon competition, and bueno, she's here to share more about her philanthropic work and what it's like to compete in Elton John's competition. Everyone, please welcome back to Open, Marta Luna. Okay, so I have to say welcome back because you brought to my attention.
Thank you so much, Rhina, for having me here. I am extremely grateful. I was thinking about it and I was like, 10 years? I met you 10 years ago, and I feel so grateful to be here sharing all my accomplishments. I was so nervous when I first came to the show. I didn't even know how to interview. So this just feels like so amazing to be back and share all my accomplishments.
Beautiful, beautiful full circle moment. And thank you so much for reminding me, because, you know, I've been doing this 19 years and just, oh, look, they're showing the image of us. Look at that.
That's us.
OMG, wow. So, and you said I was your first interview?
You was my first interview ever. When you guys reached out, I actually had a blog then, and it was to inspire the same branding that I have, but a little bit more elevated. I had a blog to inspire young Latinas, immigrant Latinas, as I came to this country, Venezuelan, and that had really big dreams. And I'm so grateful that you continue for 10 years to invite people from all over the world to share their story, to, have a space here to share what they're doing.
And
so
what
that's
they've
very
accomplished.
amazing.
Yes. I'm excited about the fact that we're able to now highlight you where you are 10 years later, and you've accomplished quite a bit, and also your philanthropic work, which is important. So let's talk about you as a stylist and that aspect of your work, right? And then why it's so important for you to also work in the philanthropic aspect as well.
So after being a blogger, which is the first interview I had here, I decided to, hey, you're creative. I can do multiple things. I don't have to be in one space. You know how sometimes they say, hey, just put someone in a box.
Right.
My thing was like, wait, I love fashion. I love styling. I've had the opportunity to style amazing clients in the Latin industry, from covers and People in Espanol with Nati Natasha. I've styled in the Oscars, Latin billboards, all the major Latin red carpets you can think of about. And styling has been my gift, I believe, since I was very young. I've loved fashion. Even, I think about it now, and my grandmother always used to tell me, ahí va el artista, ahí va el artista. And I was like, abuela, qué artista, but I always say, like, the abuela can always see something in you from a very young age. So that's one of the things that always sticks with me. And style is what I love to do. And I also love to be stylist myself, so.
Yeah, well, we just showed some images of you all fashionisted out, right? And I understand you're part of this competition, the Elton John style competition. Tell us about that.
So Style Icon is its first nationwide competition. It's the first competition they do of that kind. It's through Elton John and Colossal Impact, which they do amazing work giving back. And I'm really excited. Why I decided to join is because for me, fashion always have to have a purpose. I say I love going to red carpets, going to magazines, and having all this exposure and experience. But my end goal is about giving back. So one of the things I normally say is giving back never goes out of style. And it started I joined the competition, and the amazing thing about this is that we're helping the Elton John's Foundation as a voice, as an advocate, to push his foundation, which is helping people who's been affected through AIDS and HIV. And he has such a passion of starting the foundation since 1992. And I was like, wow, I was just a little girl. So just to see the vision he's had, and he's been pushing this foundation amazingly. It's truly the reason why I joined. I told, a lot of people might see it like, oh, you get to win amazing things like $20,000. You get to go to Milan Fashion Week, to the Versace show, and a 2-page spread with Flaunt. But I'm like, for me, what it really means is that it goes with my brand. It's like the competition that I've been able to experience that actually goes true to who I am, which is style and giving back.
And philanthropy, right? So we're showing some images of some, I guess you were serving in a kitchen, and this is a painting.
That was in Puerto Rico. During Hurricane Maria was actually my first mission that I led for 60 days with one of my amazing friends named Samantha. We go to safe homes to visit children. We give them gifts for Christmas, just show a little bit of love and kindness, which goes a long way for those in need. I do God's Love We Deliver. I volunteer a lot of God's Love We Deliver, which is actually my favorite place here in New York City. It's in Soho, about 3 hours a day. So I do like 2 to 3 times a week. And it's so fulfilling because we help prep meals for the elderly who's going through dementia, Alzheimer's, cancer, and HIV as well. And I visit Susan Homes, which is actually here in the Bronx, to speak to women on domestic violence, rape, and things of that sort, that, you know, your life doesn't end there, that even though you've gone through things like that, you can actually continue to move forward, and there's people who's backing you up. I've gone through similar things, which I won't share, but it has inspired me to still share my voice and say, hey, I can still look like this, but I still have a lot of story. If you walked in my shoes, you will know.
Right.
And my end goal is just to continue spreading or sprinkling love and kindness to the world, and still being fashion girl.
Yeah, no, it's beautiful. I love the juxtapose of it too, right? So when I was going through your file and I saw images of you all fashionista, cover magazines, you know, like all that, bien, you know, extravaganza, right? And then in another photo, you're like wearing a shower cap, right? To cover your hair because you're serving in a kitchen, and you have yourself documented in such contrast. In a way, it's very inspiring to just show, like, you know, yes, I choose to look like this and wear these kind of clothing and or dress up in a certain way because you. From what it looks like, you know, you like to be the canvas, right? Right? Eso es forma de artista, como dijo su abuela, ¿verdad?
Yes.
But then there's the humanitarian in you that is feeding in whatever way you can those who are basically underrepresented and or deprived. And so does one feed the other, or how do you decide and how do you sustain a balance in making sure that you're feeding both sides?
I always say that even when I go to events, if the event, like, no me edifica, it doesn't, you know, bring positivity to me, I don't go to the event just to say, like, I'm there. I have to feel like it's a connection, an outcome that connects with what I'm doing or what I'm preaching, in a sense, including my faith. Like, I'm a believer of, you know, God, and I have a lot of faith in my life, and I just try to balance both. One is not heavier than the other. If I have to volunteer 3 times a week and then I have events the following week, it's okay, I can put it aside. And, you know, as I was sharing with the Style Icon competition, one of the things that was inspiring was how Elton said that he was inspired, the beginning was inspired about a family, the family white, and that's how he founded that in 1992. It's partially the same for me. I started doing this. I didn't know I was going to be doing it as my career progressed, but my grandmother, Gloria, she's the first person who actually instilled this in me. So we were in Venezuela, and she always used to bake, like, bread, cookies, everything, and put it in little bags, and we used to take it to people in Caracas less fortunate. And I was like, Abuela, you think people are going to actually eat those things that you're making there? And she was like, look, si tú tienes 10 bolívares y esa persona tiene 5, you already have more than them. And that's when I started saying to myself, like, as a little girl, I'm like, this is like to see the happiness of those kids who actually didn't have a hot arepa or a warm piece of bread and sandwich, that, wow, you can do so much. I didn't have to be a millionaire to do this. I felt like with what I could give, I was rich enough. And yeah, of course, we all want to be have financial freedom to give to the world and do this every day. But, you know, I just thank God for giving me the wisdom to share that kindness in my heart to do what I can. And this is why I'm pushing to be the next style icon of 2025. And to continue sharing my voice that, you know, giving back never goes out of style, and you can still look like this and have an amazing heart to give to others.
Beautifully said, and a beautiful wrap up. Giving back never goes out of style. I like that. I like that. Magdaluna, everyone. Once again, you can follow her on Instagram at Magdaluna, or you can also follow her at her Season of Giving, right? Which that Instagram is at TSOGF. However, if you want to vote for her on Elton John's Style Icon competition, be sure to go to styleicon.org/2025/Martha-Luna, because giving back never goes out of style. All right, stay tuned. There's more open when we return. Hey everyone, welcome back to Open. Our next guests are the founder and co-founder of Yambawa, a dynamic New York-based Latin music band and theatrical project known for diverse genres, including salsa, soul, rock, funk, and jazz, with traditional Puerto Rican and African influences. Everyone, please welcome a master percussionist, Anthony Carrillo, and accomplished pianist, Amy Quint-Millan, also known as Yambawa.
Thank you.
Yes,
Thank you.
yes. I am so excited for our viewers and what they're going to get a taste of after this interview. But congratulations to
Thank
you
you very
both
much.
on this unified effort to produce a fusion, right, is what we were discussing?
Yes.
Yes. So, Anthony, let's start with you and why this project is so important to you. And obviously, you know, I want to share with our viewers that you have it tattooed on your arm.
Yes.
Yeah.
That tattoo is Yambawa.
Which means?
Yambawa is a place in Africa, Nigeria. But the reason I put this name to the band was like a very funny scene from Ace Ventura, Jim Carrey, where he made this elephant destroy a Volkswagen, very expensive Volkswagen. When he said Yambawa, the elephant sat on the Volkswagen and destroyed it. Then after, because the band name was Avalancha. Then we,
Avalanche.
Yeah, Avalanche. Then we find out that it was two bands already with that name. And we got to immediately change. I forgot about this name, and then I remember the name, and then we put Yambawa. Nobody has the name Yambawa in their bands. But then we found out that it's a place in Nigeria. It's a big place that they call Yambawa. They call these people the Yambawans. So that we prefer to use that name. We're very comfortable with that name. And it's easy for everybody in Europe and every part of the world to say Yambawa.
Yeah, no, it's fun to
It's-
say. It's actually fun to say, and there's something really empowering about saying it. That's why I asked, like, why this word? But I want to know how you both even formed this unity, because you're the actual combined, you're Yambawa, right?
Yeah, Yambawa is a 15-piece band.
Right.
Plus, and Amy Quint-Millan is the head leader of organizing musically all the voicing of the band and all these arrangements according to the ideas and compositions that comes out of my mind most of the time. And yes, we got a fusion music. We fusion the jazz, heavy metal. We fusion the African rhythms, Caribbean African rhythms with the jazz, funk, blues, but it's very intense pop music. But it's very intense, the mix. We don't have like the album, which is we working on it, the mixing and the mastering. That's why we got a raffle of this bongo that we're gonna be talking about it later on.
You're raffling this bongo.
Actually, it's a bongo that is very similar to this one, but the only difference that has a, how do you call placa? How do you say placa?
A plaque.
A plaque on the other side, on the embra of the bongo that
A
says...
plate, like a plate.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a little metal plate.
Right.
Label.
And it says Carrillo on the other side.
Oh, it's gonna have your name. You're gonna
It's a
sign
more
it too?
updated than this one.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, I'm gonna be signing it
signed.
as well.
Pues claro.
Yeah.
It's on Yambawa.com. You can find the rifa, the raffle at Yambawa.com.
Yambawa.com, right.
And yeah, we're in that process of mastering, mixing, mastering the album. And with your help and the raffle, it's going to help a lot to us to come back with the vinyl, because we want to produce a vinyl album like in the 70s. Remember those vinyls?
I know. You know, I've been noticing that a lot of artists are producing vinyls
Yeah.
again,
Yeah.
Yeah,
right?
they're looking for them.
So let's just share with everybody all the logistical aspect of what we're trying to accomplish here, having you on, and what your process has been, because you told me prior to getting on air, you've been at this for 10 years.
Oh, yes.
Yes, we've been in the studio at Allertone Studios mostly here in the Bronx, just putting things together one song at a time. We've got well over
40 plus. 40
Yeah.
plus music already recorded.
Yes, songs. And our album's probably going to dedicate 10 of those arrangements. And this will hopefully, we're going to work towards a little bit more live performance. Also in the meantime, Anthony's working on his bongo formula book and video, instructional book and video. And we hope to be taking this around the States and around the world, a live performance and at educational institutions and as well as large venues.
And so why is it so important to you to fuse it?
The lack of knowledge of the old music in the new generation, you know. And it's not because they don't have the interest of knowing, having the knowledge. It's that it's not out there.
Right, it's not accessible.
It's not accessible. So, you know, in order to have them have a little idea of what was New York back in the 60s, they got to go through the music first. If you go through the music, then you can understand. You remember that era, Boogaloo era?
Right.
That Pachanga era? That Cha-Cha-Cha era? It all disappeared. If it wasn't for Fania All-Star, Big Jerry Masucci, Big Boss Jerry Masucci, who could he documented the video, you know, our Latin thing, you know, that video of the movie of salsa back in those days. So it's like we're trying to put our part, you know, do our part in that mission of maintaining the roots of those years, fusing it with the new technology. Let's say a scratcher. My son Sebastian is the rapper and the singer of Alien Jungle is like a very heavy metal band with some synthesizer and some new sounds as well with the old school sound.
It sounds to me intergenerational.
Yeah.
Is what it sounds, right?
It
so
is,
you're making it like
Exactly.
appealing to the next generation,
Yeah.
so that it's kind of like, hey, we have you in mind, but here's the origins.
But all the time with the percussion, full percussion in the center of it.
Right. Well, you got me sold, because anything that has percussion as the star,
Yes,
I'm
that's it.
there.
You know, we got Cubans, Venezuela, we got from Filipina, people from like New York. You know, we got a person from every country in the world.
Ecuador,
Ecuador, we got.
African American.
So it's like a very variado band. Everybody brings their own recipe, you know, and it's very interesting when you start getting together musically with them, and then you start this movement. It's like a very revolutionary movement in music. It doesn't have the rules of the new music. New music has some rules that we're not. It's just too cold. It's just too cold.
He's like, I'm a rebel. I got you. I hear you. I feel you. And I'm so for it. So how is it that our viewers can help you in having you here share all of this? I'm inspired. I'm inspired just listening to you. It's very apparent that you're very passionate about what you do. And you've been around the block for so many. I mean, you're a master percussionist who's played with like the greats, Eddie Palmieri. We're not going to go through the whole list because we don't have the time. But I have to mention the late great Eddie Palmieri because, you know,
Yes.
that's a big accomplishment within itself, right? And he's no longer with us. However, the point is that now you're creating this new, I want to say, almost like your own genre, right? Even though it's a fusion of all the other genres, you're
Kind of original, yes.
right, because the base of it is the percussion,
Exactly.
right? I got it.
Yeah.
And when we
they're
put
gonna
in
get
everybody's recipe, like this piece of jazz, this is blues, and this is, and then we compose a song, and well, those people told me like 9-10 years ago, said, what is your point? Because there's so many things happening at the same time that I can't focus in one. And I told him, yeah, but just listen to it again, and listen to the song again, and then you get used to the concept. It's like playing classical music, you know, tienes contrapunto, some the violins and the cellos and the violoncellos and everybody has different parts. And it's very comfortable for the ear of the people that are paying the ticket to see the Filarmónica de Londres, let's say. And they know what they're gonna face. They're gonna face a 90-piece band, you know, playing everybody against each other, making perfect sense. Anyway.
That's right.
No. I love it.
makes perfect
I love it because I get it. I get it. And you know what? They're going to get a taste of it.
Yeah.
Right? Even
Okay.
though it's just the two of you,
Yep.
the leads of the matter, even though, you actually are a part of a 15-piece band, right?
Right,
Yes.
right.
But we could only fit two today, so y'all got to
Well,
stay tuned for that.
yeah.
And once again, the idea is that you're now going to put this into vinyl. You're creating the video, like the tutorial of Anthony Carrillo style bongos, right?
Yes, it's about formula. This instrument is from Cuba, and I heard for decades so many Cubans playing bongo, and the piece that the Puerto Ricans brought to New York, learning from the Cubans, and I learned a lot of stuff that I really got to put it on video before I got to fly high.
That's amazing. And we're grateful to you for coming here to us here in the studio and just sharing a little piece of it with our viewers. And bueno, they're going to have to follow you and follow your journey. And we encourage you. Once again, we have master percussionist Anthony Carrillo. And then we have pianist Amy Quint-Millan, who is going to perform for us after the break. That's right, Yambawa is going to perform, and you don't want to miss. Trust me. Don't go anywhere. Hey everyone, welcome back to Open Here Now to perform Fragil and La Mulata, Rumbera. Let's give it up for Yambawa. gotta calm down. Anyway, if you guys are interested in listening to more of Yambawa, you can find them on YouTube and all streaming platforms. For more information, please go to yambawa.com. And also, you can follow them on Instagram at Yambawa_se mueve. That is our show today, mi gente. Thanks to all our guests for coming through. And to you, our viewers, for tuning in. I'm a little out of breath because yo estaba bailando on the sides there. And of course, if you missed any part of the show, you can check out this episode throughout the weekend, 24 hours a day at Bronxnet.tv. I'm Rhina Valentin. And from all of us here at Open, may the universe provide paz, prosperity, y amor.